Very funny dude, whether you're checking him out on stage or on screen. He's also going to be in the new Disney Plus movie, Timmy Failure, Mistakes Were Made. It's out tomorrow, Friday, February 7th. Craig Robinson in studio. What's up, man?
Hello.
How you living?
Pretty good. Yourself?
I'm good. You play Timmy's, therapist in this movie?
Counselor.
Is that counselor?
Yeah.
I'd need a counselor if my last name was Failure. What's that all about? That's a tough one to overcome, my man.
Well, you see the movie, you'll see how he does it. But
the big polar bear?
Oh, yeah. The kid's got a gigantic imagination. That's pretty dope.
And so you play the nice counselor or the weird counselor? I feel like counselors always are the nice one with the sage wisdom and advice, or they're a little out there.
I guess it's your interpretation. Hopefully it comes off as nice and sage, but it's some weird stuff that goes on in this movie. This kid is weird. The character's weird.
Well, he's got this imaginary polar bear as his sidekick. He's got his own detective agency.
Agency.
He's rocking the mullet.
Mullet, yeah.
He's checking all the boxes. You've played some characters that are but this is sort of a much more sort of grounded kind of guy, right?
Yeah, and he's grounded. He cares about his students, and he has to figure out a way to communicate with this kid who nobody can seem to communicate with.
You're a busy dude, man. I feel like every time I look up, I'm seeing you in something. Like you were obviously Dolemite.
Yeah.
How much fun was it to do the music for that?
It was awesome.
You got to do 2 songs. It
was awesome and a little hectic because Craig Brewer, the director, would be like, "Hey, you singing a song tomorrow?" What? And I get it that day, and then record record it and then do it the next day or two. So it wasn't a lot of time to learn the music like that. But now but it was fun. That's what made it exciting for me.
Even the Dolemite song you performed, it's a performance in the movie where we see you on stage doing it. Like, you didn't have a lot of time to sort of work that out?
I think, that one might have got a few days in between. So it was recorded the next day. And then a few days after that, we performed it live.
That must have been fun, though, hitting at that era of funk.
It was awesome, man. It was awesome. And then, the crew and cast and Eddie, going every day. Mike Epps said it best. He says, going to a barbecue every day. But it was, I couldn't have dreamt being in the scenes with Eddie Murphy. And he brings his guitar on set.
Come on.
So he'll be playing guitar and stuff. So there were times where there's a piano, so I just kind of sneak over and start jamming with him.
You were jamming with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. And he said, "Oh, you're a musician for real, huh?" Yes, Eddie.
So you're on tour now, and how much music are you doing in the show, in the tour you're doing right now?
Oh, my show is
it's all music?
Very few moments without me playing the piano.
And does that mean, because most people, if you're doing straight stand-up, you got to, refresh your act, you got to put in new material all the time, and I'm sure you do that, but you have to retire material almost if you're a regular stand-up. With doing the music, could you feel like you can sort of use some of that stuff and cycle it in and cycle it out again, or not?
I've been writing lately. For a long time, I didn't really add a lot, and there's sometimes a lot of improv that goes on with the show, depending upon the crowd and my connection and all of that. So, but yeah, there are jokes that I'll forget about. I don't necessarily retire them because I like to give it all to them. But there are things that I'll come back to and go, "Oh man, I forgot about that one."
I mean, I know you love it. You chose this profession. You want to do it. You want to get up on a stage and you want to have your keys out. But what's it like going from town to town, and how much of that can you do? Do you still feel like you'll have a bad show? And how do you deal with that?
I just I don't feel like it's going to be a bad show. I go in, with good energy, and people come to have a good time. So I don't. That doesn't.
But I mean, you've never had a show where you get off the stage and I just didn't have it, or the crowd wasn't there, or something.
The other night I had a show, and it was the last show, and it was an added show. It was a Saturday night. We were in San Antonio, and I was supposed to. It was an added show, late night show. I didn't get on stage till about 12:30 or something. Show didn't end till about 2:45. Okay, so at first, now it
I'm
was
tired just listening.
Now it was it wasn't going great. There were people in the crowd like folded arms. I'm like thinking, I'm thinking about bailing at one point. I'm like, you know what, I could just do my 45 and get out.
Yeah.
But it was like, no, I'm not going out like that. And then I just like let loose, and I didn't let them win. Next thing you know, we're all there till 2:45. So it was, it was, it wasn't. It felt like I had to wrestle with them, which was fine because that's what I learned.
Do you
to
like
do
that?
Over the years.
Like, do you like this is a challenge? I'm gonna win these people over.
I like that. I'm not afraid of the challenge. I like that. I'm like, you know what? Let's see what this, because it's entertaining for me as well. It's like, okay, I see your arms crossed and you staring at me like you want me to leave. This is an added show. What are you doing here on a bonus show if you don't want to be here? So it became this challenge, and I just relaxed and had fun with it.
We're talking with Craig Robinson. He's starring in Timmy Failure, Mistakes Were Made. It's out on Disney Plus tomorrow, Friday, February 7th. So, a lot of people don't know. I mean, when you watch a movie, it's all so seamless and stuff, but like movies take a lot of time to make, and they got to reset cameras, and they got to do this and all these breaks. What do you do when you're on set and you're just waiting around? Are you writing? Are you playing music? Are you reading? Are you playing video games? What do you do on set?
I'm usually at the craft service table.
How was the craft service on Timmy Failure?
It was all right.
It was okay? What do you go for? What's your move?
Oh, man, you know what? There's always something that you've never heard of. And then there's, the old standbys, M&Ms or whatever. But, it'll be something, and then, or maybe cheese and cracker. Who knows? One year I was vegan, so it was like whatever the vegan stuff is. So so it depends. It's not like I have a set thing. And then they got the crafty kitchen, like a little crafty truck. So you go get you a sandwich or whatever.
It's dangerous. When I go on set,
it's so dangerous.
When I go on set,
I'm surprised everybody in Hollywood's not 800 pounds.
I know. I first saw you. I was watching a little show on FX by the name of Lucky.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah, man. Will you, Billy Gardell?
Nobody knows that show.
Yeah. That's where I first saw you.
Nobody knows that.
When I first saw you in the office, I'm like, oh, it's a dude from Lucky. That's what I actually said. It's the dude from Lucky. And it's kind of interesting because The Office, obviously, wildly successful, beloved. But what's it like when you're on a show like Lucky, or when you're on a show, and this is interesting because that's right near the start of your career, and you're like, oh my God, and then they don't bring it back, or then you move on later and you have a show Ghosted, which was freaking hilarious.
Thank you.
And yet that they don't bring it back. What's it like when you're on those shows that then don't have this success?
You know what? Lucky was like I was dreaming being on that show because Billy Gardell, John Corbett was like the hottest. He was the hottest thing out. The women swooned over John Corbett. It was amazing. Like he's so dope. We were at the Lucky premiere, and it was Vegas at the Palms, whatever. And he was like, we went to the club, and they was like, who with you? 200 people. He said, all of them. And we all walked in. I mean, I was going, but it was like the whole premiere came over. So it was a crazy, amazing time. And we were at the Nip Tuck premiere. And Lucky had already, Lucky was doing his thing. Nip Tuck was coming out. It was the Shield, Lucky, Nip Tuck, right? So I'm at the Nip Tuck premiere. The president of the network looks at me. He says, you guys got nothing to worry about. So, I'm like, and then not too long after that, I'm sitting in my place and sitting on a chair, and my manager calls me, hey, man, they pulled the plug on Lucky. And I'm just sitting there, and I had spent all the money. It was, wasn't that much, but I spent it all. It could have done better saving. And then the two brothers who produced it, Rob and Mark Cullen, they called me individually to tell me. And then by the time Billy Gardell called me, I'm like, I got it, I know. But yeah, that was a shock, just because of stuff like, the president saying you got nothing to worry about. But then Ghosted was interesting because they started retooling the show. We did 10 episodes, and then we did 6 with a new showrunner, and you could tell that the network was kind of like pulling back. It was a whole thing where we were supposed to start advertising, and then they pulled the advertising. They said, "No, don't advertise yet." It was like, okay, they're gonna burn us out of here.
Yeah.
So it's but at this point it's like, okay, I've seen it.
Yeah, because at this point, like, you're at a different place in your career where, I mean, maybe lucky you think it's your big break, and then they're pulling the rug out from under you.
Lucky was still great for me. It was. I mean, at one point we had all these incredible reviews. Like, they were incredible.
Yeah, I remember. I probably wrote one of them. That's why it was so frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you sort of felt like you never really got the end of that story, which is...
Oh, exactly.
Well, listen, it's so much fun seeing you, again, playing a little bit of a different role here in Timmy Failure, Mistakes Were Made. It's out on Disney Plus tomorrow. Everyone can check it out. Craig Robinson, man, thanks for coming and hanging out in studio. Really appreciate it.